prefer to watch human behavior from afar. The ignorance, intelligence, and they are the war. Tragedy, strategies, put knowledge in the book. Change our language so we couldn't read it if we look. Convince us we ain't have shit here but disease. Made us 3/5 human and black illegally. You put your fists up to being African American. How much history you went through for that to make some sense? I've been on Turtle Island 10,000 years. Akubulan been my neighbor. Pangea brought me here. The world didn't start in 1400s. Niggas grow up. What you think we was doing? Morse was running Europe. We been tribal folk, now it's time to show up. Bring back the villages, cause cities ain't got no love. You're melanin addicted to the infliction of pollution. Chemical dependency, nature the solution. Grow your food and medicine, build homes in conclusion. The enemy will televise infiltration as inclusion.
And in order to be an appropriate persona in this country, whether that be North America, Central America, or South America, you must be a Moor. If they want to be sovereign, they got to go home. They cannot be sovereign here.
Universe is generous, so say less. I'm on it like a magic carpet. Ride away through your hood. All I find I keep peep to a abandoned scene. Must be left by the vaccine. Oh well, we tried to told them. Now let's go into hell. Molten lava jail. Now digger well, we gon' live well for free. The mind state translate the meekest first plan.
Peace, y'all.
Greetings, everybody.
Welcome to another episode of Virgo Virgin Talk with your girl Sunshine Monet L.
And I'm Danielle.
And we are doing our Sanfoka episodes where we look back onto season 1 and 2 and we bring them forward and we expound on them. I'm very excited to be here. Today we are going to talk about the challenges of Saturn and all things Saturn. And this is an episode from season 1 that we did, the Saturn episode. And I was watching that earlier today. I actually enjoyed that episode, aside from the audio quality.
Oh, yeah. I definitely thoroughly enjoyed it as well. We had a lot of fun on that episode. We didn't get to talk about our placements too much.
We didn't. So, since we got to talk so much about like the physical and the astronomical aspects of Saturn so much, I look forward to expounding and communicating more on like the spiritual aspects of Saturn. So, I really dug into the Orisha part of it, and that's just to give y'all a little shadow work on what on the next season of Virgo Virgin Talk when we really dig into these Orishas. So like the Orisha associated with Saturn is Babalao, and this was the god of disease and famine. This is the deity of pestilence, infection, and miraculous healing, because like not only could he make you sick, but he could also make your sickness go away. And he's also known as Omulu, Azojano, San Lazaro, Shanpana, also the Saint Lazarus in the Catholics, the saints. That was Saint Lazarus, the guy that had lepers and the 2 dogs that Jesus resurrected, which is said, which is supposed to be like an alignment of Saturn being about life and death, because not only did he bring and take away diseases, but like say if you had an illness and you wanted to die because this was something you couldn't get rid of, you were in a lot of pain, it's Babalao that would come to you and bring you to the other side. So this god was also the god of life and death. And they say that the story of Saint Lazarus is what, brought on the death of Jesus, because Jesus brought Lazarus to life. That brought people was really started to believe in this guy. And so, the government was like, we need to kill this nigga. So that really started the stepping stones to the death of Jesus. So it was life and death in that situation. Also, because Lazarus was dead and he was resurrected on the 4th day, 4 being a number of stability. We're dealing with earth energy with that, Capricorn vibes. And then that also brings on the energy of Capricorn and Aquarius. Him having that Capricorn energy, being in the tomb or whatever, the rock being in front of the tomb, and Jesus being that Aquarius energy coming in and air and breathing in that life and being, the revolutionary energy that brought in that aha moment. So, it's a lot of different, parallels that you make in that story that gives off the energy of Capricorn. I ain't just gonna read everything off.
Right.
We gonna dialogue with it. So
There's a
Danielle,
lot of
let us know some
information.
facts you got. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
lot.
Well, as far as like the spiritual side of it or what have you, the challenges of Saturn, I have that, it has you shifting out of nihilism, which is the objection or rejection of the religious and the moral principles.
Mm.
Um, Now I can say I can somewhat relate to that. I, far as like certain religions that I have practiced that I didn't quite agree with, and I found that it was like a struggle.
Okay.
Um, yeah, just briefly, speaking on that or whatever. But yeah, Saturn is meant to set boundaries for you and challenges. It is our karmatic planet as well.
Mm.
Um, and you may have the belief that your knowledge is higher and more supreme than others. Sometimes I could feel like that too. I think I can relate to that. Um, yeah, basically that's what I have with that. And it's for your rewards and part. And yeah, I said your karma and ultimate reward. Um, and some people don't take Saturn. People who have placements in Saturn seriously because of their philosophies.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Um. So this is the visual of Babalao, and he's like covered with like straw that's supposed to cover his smallpox, and he walks with a staff because he's supposed to be kind of like sickly, but he's also very strong at the same
Mm-hmm.
time. So it's like a balance between the both. Um He okay, so his story was that he was disease stricken with the smallpox by the god Alofi, for not being a nice leader. And so he lost all his wealth and his riches, and his trial on earth is to learn his lessons of humility, perseverance, patience, and good character. So like when you're looking at
Mm-hmm.
Capricorn energy, well, okay, so when we're dealing with Saturn, Saturn rules over the root chakra. This is your basic self. This is your primordial self. Especially when you're looking at the root chakra on the draconic chart, which is dealing with the lunar new year being on 0 degrees Aries. Now we're talking about your soul's energy, you know. So your soul is in the draconic chart. When you look at the root chakra on your draconic chart in the Capricorn side, you're going to be given information on what it is that you're supposed to be learning and practicing in this
Mm-hmm.
life. So certain people interpret this, oh, these are the challenges in your life. This is where life is the hardest. This is where you should look out for. I mean, you can introduce that energy with gloom and doom, as some people do when it comes to Capricorn and Babalawe. But like, you can also look at it as these are the challenges in your life. This is the simulation that you're going through. This is the contract that you signed to be here, because Babalao also deals with that contract energy, boundaries and restrictions and order. Why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
So, because we know
Right.
why Babalao is here. Babalao is here to learn his lessons. So, what lessons are you here to learn? And that's what you learn from your Capricorn placements. What it is that you're here for. Aquarian energy lets you know how you came down. So we know Babalao came down here from God Alofi because of the kind of leader he was. So when you look at your Aquarius placements, you'll look at who you was and how you came down here. So that's the alignment you can make with the God, and
Mm.
also looking at your own chart. Babalao was also the protector of animals, especially dogs. My man loved dogs. He's rumored to be the son of Yamoja, which is cool because Yamoja rules over Cancer, which is the third eye. So when you think about it, that completes the week. Yamoja starts our week on the Sunday, and then you end the week in Babalao on the Saturn day, and then the very next
Mm.
day is Yamoja again. So, is rumored to be the son of Yamoja. Burlap is sacred to this god, and people who worship this god sacrifice this to him. He has knowledge of herbs, which brings on the energy of him also healing people from sickness as well. Worship ceremony is called Awan. Um, Babylao is associated with the number 17, which is cool for my numerologists out there. One is the number of leadership, beginnings, learning to be by yourself amongst the collectives. When you're dealing with Aquarius energy, you're dealing with the first sphere in the tree of life. When you're dealing with Capricorn energy, you're dealing with the third sphere in the tree of life. And I'll get into that later on with Bina and the Kabbalah, which is actually I love the Kabbalah because the Kabbalah takes all of these deities and makes them all feminine as they should be. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I gotta give me a Torah. But yeah, so number 17, so standing by yourself amongst the collectives. Number 7 being the number of spirituality, the celestial government. And then 1 plus 7 is 8. 8 being the number of transformation. Now you're dealing with life and death and rebirth with the number 8, and also infinite energy. So he's also associated with the colors purple, brown, and yellow. Purple being the color of the bruises from the illnesses and stuff like that. Brown being of earth. December 17th is his holiday. The other people, the Greeks and all of them, they have Saturnalia on that day where they stop all business. It used to be 3 days, but now it's like 9 or 7 or something like that. Food for Babalao is roasted ear of corn, popcorn, black eyed peas, rum, tobacco, beans. If you want to make a shrine, it's a terracotta pot with cowrie shells. Keep 18 loose cowrie shells to communicate with him. Keep this terracotta pot in the dark because he likes to be in darkness. That gives off the energy of, in the beginning of the Bible, Genesis, they talk about Bina as well as Babalao, in the womb when he said, let there be light. That's the Aquarian energy in the Capricorn darkness in the root chakra. And then stones that are associated with Babalao are bloodstone, tanzanite, snowflake, obsidian, and jasper. So you basically get the vibe of bloodstone being red and green, blood on a stone, and then the other stones being more so black stones. But that's what I have as far as Babalao. What else you got, sis, over there?
Well, I couldn't tell you much about no Babalao or whatever, but I wanted to say that about how my placement is in Sagittarius, because you spoke a little bit about Capricorn, which Saturn rules over Capricorn and Aquarius, but your placement is also in Capricorn, right?
Yeah.
And with my placement being in Sagittarius or what have you, a lot of challenges with like my childhood and how my thoughts of my childhood were, my upbringing, whatever, and how my life was strict. I had a lot of strict and structured parents or whatever, and I also find myself being challenged into my adulthood and have me questioning why life gotta be so hard, or why I always gotta go through this to get to that, why I just can't have it easy or whatever. And so that's having the placement, Sagittarius and Saturn in my Sagittarius or whatever, I feel those challenges or whatever.
Right.
It says that I'm traditional, somewhat. I can say that I'm pretty open-minded though, or I became open-minded. Maybe in my upbringing I was traditional because I was forced to be. And well, I think that's kind of relatable to everyone who has Saturn in their Sagittarius. Well, Saturn placements or whatever. Majority of that. In my 5th house, also it's in my 5th house as well. Now with the 5th house, I'm in constant quest of discovering my own reflection, I believe is what it said. So I can say a few times that I'll always look for me. I look for me in other people.
And
So I look for me. Yeah, so I look for me and other people I don't know if anybody else does that, but I think that's a good thing. And also, it says I need to be kinder to myself because I'm hard on myself. Well, I guess I
Okay.
could be hard on myself because I'm always being challenged by some shit, right?
Mm.
Yeah, there's always some obstacles in the way. Even when I try to make things easier for myself, there's always something else to throw a monkey wrench in the program. So I guess that also teaches me patience as well, which I have slim amount of that. But yeah, that's a little bit about my placement, what I wanted to share with everyone.
Do you have any other placements in Cap? Well, anything else that's around that Saturn energy? Like, what else do you have in Sagittarius?
Oh, I got a few things in Sagittarius. Hold on, let me
Because conjuncts are a good thing. When you get into the Indian culture, the Vedic, but the Indian part of Vedic culture. So we're going to get into Shani. Shani is the god of justice, karma, retribution. They get their strength in the seventh house. So right now, Saturn is actually currently in the seventh house. The seventh house is the Libra house, dealing with the heart chakra. One, two is air energy, and it deals with balancing of the scales, right? Retribution. All right. So that's where it gets its strength at. Saturn is currently in Pisces in the seventh house. So it's very strong in that space right now, especially for my people that are ruled by Neptune. Y'all definitely getting that vibe over there in that space. Shani is associated with the number 8, blue and black robes, because Shani was actually born really black. Okay, so Shani's mom was praising the Shiva. And so Shani came out black, and so Shani's dad kind of disowned him because he came out so black. But then the Shiva
Mm-hmm.
came and educated them on what was going on. Sis, we can't see you. You black over there. And see Danielle's in alignment with Shani right now. So
Ah. It's because I'm finding my other placements that you asked for that was
okay,
Sagittarius.
okay.
And I think I have more placements in Sagittarius than anything else.
Ashe. Okay, so you have a lot of placements in alignment with your Saturn. So,
Uh-huh.
according to like the Indian culture, Shani was associated with the bow and arrow and axe, giving off that hunter energy. Also, the fig tree for my druids out there. The fig tree is associated with Shani, and Saturn and Mars, as well as Saturn and Jupiter, or Saturn and the moon. Wait a minute, Saturn and Mars is very violent. That's the most violent alignment with Saturn. But Saturn and the moon, or Saturn and Jupiter, are the best, because you come back to Saturn and Yamoja, which is father to mother, which is a big deal. We love son to mother connections, right? Because ain't no love stronger than the sons for a mother. You feel me?
When
So
I hear
Saturn,
emoji, I think of unity. That's why I
yeah,
for unity. Is
is
it spelled
mother
the
and
same way?
son. It's Saturday into Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So you know those are the best combos, and then Saturn and Jupiter is the best combo as well. And we had our Saturn and Jupiter year. What was that? 2017 through that 2018. When I was
Mm-hmm.
doing my planetary forecast, we just kept having these beautiful conjunctions and occultations with Saturn and Jupiter. 2017 and 18 was a great time for business at that time, before we plummeted, heavily with all the other things that was going on. But that was like the peak the business before we got on this quote unquote depression or whatever, as we deal
Right.
with transformations, because again, Saturn deals with life and death. If you know the story of Saturn and Jupiter, Jupiter went to Saturn in the Greek and Roman, where Saturn is now Cronus. Jupiter went to Saturn and made him vomit his children that he ate. Saturn ate his children because there was a prophecy that his children were going to overthrow him. So he ate them. Jupiter made him vomit them, and then he still got overthrown, which brings back that number 8 of infinity, the snake biting its tail. And then also brings back that energy of retribution and karma that's associated with Saturn, and also that alignment of Saturn and Jupiter. Both of them being really good business spaces. Now, your placements in alignment. Your Saturn is at a 4 degree. You have Uranus there. That's all I see.
Mm-hmm.
It's your Saturn and your Uranus.
Mm-hmm. And
So,
that's all you see? You can't see the whole thing?
uh-uh.
Ugh. Okay, let me do it again. I don't know why they didn't do the whole thing. Now
But
they're
you
trying to.
have your moon and Mars in Capricorn, which can be a little difficult, because we talked about Mars and Saturn being near each other. Saturn and Capricorn are the same energy. So the fact that Moon Mars is in Capricorn energy around each other, they're only 1 degree apart. It causes a lot of challenges to that Moon energy at the same time, because there's a duality with Saturn. Remember, where he can make disease, he can also take disease away. So it also can
Okay.
be a bit of a guided light there too, a door opening there as well.
Now you should be able to see it.
Mars is also the planet of strategy and a certain level of intellect being had with that moon energy. Yeah, I got your Saturn. I got two Sagittarius, Saturn and Uranus. So you got a 4 degree at 5 at 9. What energy is over your fifth house?
Let me see. It's shit. I have Uranus. Well, Sagittarius in my fifth house again. Well, both, yeah. Both. So my Uranus is in Sagittarius as well in the fifth house, and the energy that the fifth house brings, whatever, is the house of romances, right?
Yeah, that's the Leo house. That's your inner child.
Uh-huh. And yeah, it says about how I work with my own children or family or whatever. Yeah, and they work with my inner child. So yeah, that's probably why my kids like to play with me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I just got the hotline. Like, golly. Okay, back to what I was saying. That's probably why my children like to play with me a lot or whatever. You know what I'm saying, with my inner child or whatever, because that's the way I parent as well.
Mm-mm.
I guess so.
Yeah,
But
this has a lot to do with your inner child and
mhm,
the lack of attention, because the fifth house deals with attention and
mhm,
love. So like
mhm.
challenges and reception of that in your inner child energy, and it's directed towards stability, and it's karmic energy of that too. So a lot of that is derived from past life energy. You know, the parents that you have, the father that you have particularly, is a karmic bond, and
Yeah.
it's affecting your ability, your optimism, the Sagittarian optimism, as well as like hindering your acceptance of your own intellect. Traveling as well,
Right.
joy, as Sagittarius rules over the sacral chakra. If you didn't have like a certain balance, this could also lead to addictions. Um, you going that route with the Sagittarius energy can lead to addictions or like over sexual energy and stuff like that.
Right.
Uranus is the energy of pushing past bounds, pushing past traditions, and breaking those generational curses. So while your Saturn and Uranus is close by, so Saturn is your parent, Uranus is how you parent.
Mhm.
So like you're kind of like pushing the bounds of what you experienced as a child, standing on by yourself amongst the collective. 8 being the number of transformation. 9 bring you back to that karmic energy. 2 and 8, want interpersonal relationships, still transformation in those as well. So transformation in yourself and transformation in those interpersonal relationships, that those are karmic bonds that's going to bring you that optimism, that expansion, that sacral chakra energy. So that's supposed to happen to you as a parent.
Mm. I feel the transition though. I feel it coming along. Um, what about yours, sis?
My planet. So what I have, where is
Because you
my
have a fifth
Saturn?
house placement too in Saturn, right?
Yeah, my Saturn's in the fifth house. So my trauma comes from my childhood. Um,
Mm-hmm.
always feeling like that void there, and attention and love. Which is, it's funny. I was talking to my priest about that earlier. I was like, bro, I never feel like I belong anywhere. Like, even in places where I feel a lot of love, like, it's just always something fucking missing. And I can't put my finger on it. And I feel just so detached. And it's so weird because when you get into my nodes, my north node, which is the direction I'm supposed to be going in, is in fucking Aquarius, the energy of detachment. I'm still in that Saturn energy. So like my direction and the pathway I'm going in has to do with the karmic energy of why I'm here. So when I get into Capricorn energy, because now I'm going to talk about why I'm here, fifth
Right.
house energy, fifth house energy lets you know that you already knew what you were and who you were supposed to be when you were born. Your child knew. So you gotta do that shadow work and go back to your child, your inner child. Oh, my Leo rising is in retrograde too. That is so fucking annoying. Um
My Leo rising is too. Then.
that's where a lot of the self-criticism comes in. Like, it's very
Yeah.
difficult for you to share your creativity and the things that you're good at and stuff like that, because you're always criticizing. That comes with healing that Saturn placement. So like my Saturn placement is close to my Uranus and my Neptune. So my shit is like, I'm here for like the subconscious, the spiritual realm of things, and pushing past those boundaries. My Uranus is for the community because there's a 5 3 6 there. So 5 is community. 5 also deals with Gemini energy, the air, and 5 also deals with Leo energy of confidence and courageousness. And then you got the 3 of creation, 6 creating with my full body self, coming into non-karmic energy. So breaking past traditions and things like that is my karmic energy here, and I'm doing it towards the community. um my Neptune, my subconscious space, is also in this Capricorn energy. So that's what I bring that the subconscious energy. I bring like the Akashic records, the hidden agendas and stuff. So my ability to read people's charts is how I go about bringing that information to people. You know what I'm saying? um because you got the 11 next to Neptune, which is mastery, and then 4 bringing stability, 7 the celestial text, that's the charts. The 7 is the charts. That's the spiritual DNA. And mine is in retrograde because it did take me some confidence to get here. I had to wait till my Saturn return,
So
and
I was
now
just
I'm
going to
reading y'all
ask
charts.
you. I was going to ask you about do you struggle with motivation and procrastination?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all
Yeah.
there. That's all the retrograde, because my Saturn is in retrograde, which means that healing from a lot of my childlike wounds and stuff like that, I ain't really start hitting them until my Saturn return, which is very valid. And then
Mm-hmm.
my Neptune, like, being able to share my gifts with other people, yeah, that didn't start hitting until my Saturn return. Like my
Right.
29th year was a very big transformational year for me, and that's when I, like, these 3 planets got activated for me, and I felt comfortable sharing my gifts. It hasn't always been easy, no. Sometimes I want to ball up and disappear. I won't lie to you.
Yeah, because you have a different philosophical outlook on shit, and that's
Yeah.
what I would go back to saying. Like, people don't take people who have Saturn placements seriously because of our philosophical views.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I was talking to my priest earlier, and I'm like, it doesn't matter where I'm at. Like when I'm with family, I think the most I felt like I belonged is with, like, you and the other women I hang out with. Like you, Roxy, and Mahatma is like
Mm-hmm.
the most comfortable I feel. And so,
Mm-hmm.
like, more bonds like that is what I need in my space. Cause like
Right.
it's very draining to always feel alone like this. Like it's very
Right.
draining and sad. And that's where a lot of that, like, retrograde on Leo, like I don't have a lot of like that kind of attention and support that I want. That's not saying that I don't get it. What I'm saying is I haven't gotten it in the way
That you wanted from the
that
people
I
that you wanted
wanted
from.
it. Yeah.
Right. Because you expect
So
your family and, shit, hell, the world to be to acknowledge it.
right,
That's
that's what
how.
my Leo rising says.
Mm-hmm.
So that's there. And that's how I think things are supposed to be. That's what I think I'm supposed to be doing, right? And that's
Right.
why, that's how I've been in alignment. Now, when you get into your Vedic chart, now you're getting into your vibration of things. Be mindful of that Capricorn energy is associated with the Libra scales. Saturn is very much activated in the seventh house. So also, because your Saturn is in the fifth house, Saturn gets along with any planets that are three houses apart. So any planet that you have in your second house or your eighth house is
Mm.
gets along with your Saturn. So your sun is your Virgo experiences. They like your Saturn. Um
As they should.
as they should. And then your eighth house, you have your Jupiter, which is your house of business and your sacral chakra energy. And that's in Pisces. That also like Saturn. So, you have those two planets that move in alignment with Saturn. I want to say my sun and moon are both in the second house, and I don't have anything in the eighth house. It's just
Nothing
my
in the eighth
sun.
house? What I
Um,
got?
Yeah, Pisces rules over my eighth house, but I don't have anything in my eighth house.
I'm looking at mine. Me neither. Me
You have
neither.
your Jupiter in eighth house.
Where?
Your Jupiter
Oh,
is in
oh,
retrograde in the
I'm
eighth
sorry. I
house.
thought that was a six because the six was right there where the Capricorn was, and then all that. Okay, so it's just one. Yeah. Okay, Jupiter. And look what it's then.
Yes, in Pisces. So you're gonna get your money by tapping into your spiritual self, tapping into your
Mhm.
spiritual business. That's
Mhm.
where you're going to get your joy from. That's where you get your wisdom, and that's where you get your money from. You guys are tapping in. Peace, y'all. If y'all want to talk about Saturn, let us know where your Saturn placements are. What houses, and we can let you know some stuff about Saturn. So like
Right.
now in the Vedic chart, now we're talking about vibrations here, how I feel things are supposed to be. The houses stay the same, but now my Saturn is in Sagittarius with Uranus and Neptune. So, and my vibrations, my emotions, now it's my optimism. You know, yeah, feelings wise, I'm not very optimistic. I've gotten better though. Saturn return, I really got better with but I will admit, initially it was a lot of faking it till I make it.
Yeah, I think that was like a major, in transition, um, for me in my 30s. You know how they say you have like a reflect, like your life just flashes before your eyes, really, or something, or you have to like you look back on your life on up to that point. It's
Mhm.
supposed to be at the age that you reach maturity and start making like major moves, career changes, or whatever, or going after the career that you want or the things that you want to do. Just positioning yourself for um how you want your life to be set up. Uh, it's the instant.
Oh.
Good. Okay. All right. It does it every time. But yeah, but basically, you're starting to move in the direction of how you want to live the rest of your life. Um, Most people get married around that time when they have their Saturn return. Um, have
Hmm.
children or what have you. Well, I had mine
That's the
in my
karma that
early years.
everybody would like to receive. See, people don't
Mm-hmm.
realize that they're speaking on their karma. My
Mm-hmm.
karma for being a good person and being a good girlfriend and stuff is by 30, I want a good business. I
Mm-hmm.
want my children. I want, these things by the time I'm 30, because that is the
Mm-hmm.
karma that you wish to receive. That's the karma that you want to be, eligible for.
Right. Absolutely.
Hmm. Now, when you get into your draconic chart, now you're getting into your soul purpose. Now you're telling the stories of your Akashic records. Now, when I get into my draconic chart, my Saturn is actually activated right now with this Pisces, the Saturn and Pisces. My Saturn is in Pisces in the fifth house. So And while Saturn is in Pisces in the seventh house right now, I'm activated to do what I need to do for my inner child work, that fifth house energy of inner children, attention, the creativity and dramatics and stuff like that. I'm activated in the number 5, which is community. Now we're talking about Gemini energy of community and communication and stuff like that, being a space of adventure. So those, two identifications of 5, activates my Pisces, and I can go one or two ways. I can either be gullible and go with the flow of things, or I can go my own way. And my Saturn and Neptune are both in Pisces in the 5th house. My Uranus actually moved to Aquarius in my draconic chart. So those two energies being together is like, me really tapping in spirit and bringing what I get from spirit to the community, because I got 5 degrees 32 minutes to add up to 5 again. So I got a 555 on my Neptune. That's cool. And then what else? That's all I have in Pisces. Now when you get into my root chakra of my draconic chart, which is going to tell you what my Akashic records are, my Uranus is in Aquarius, like I said, and it's at a 29 degree. So I died being a revolutionary. That's how I got here. I was a revolutionary. Aquarius energy is that war energy or whatever. It's more so like being a part of a rebellious energy, which is probably why I am the way I am now. And it was at a 29 degrees, which is a rough energy because it's right between the mutable energy of Aquarius and a cardinal energy of, what is that, Pisces after Aquarius. So, you have that rough, transition there. So I'm coming in right before the energy of Pisces. So I just made it into the age of Aquarius. If I wouldn't have came in, I would have had to wait until the age of Pisces. So I came in just in time. I came in on the 5th house as a child. So as a child, I already knew who the fuck I was, and I already came in with my energy. So in my Capricorn, now we're talking about the Akashic record that I signed. My Lilith, my Juno, and my Pluto are there. All heavy feminine energy. Juno was the crazy ass wife of Zeus. Lilith is the primordial goddess. She's at a 29 degree, so I ain't never play about that shit.
Heavy in that.
And Pluto is Oya, which is the goddess of extremities. Now we're
Heavy
dealing with
energy.
that. Yeah. So, I have very heavy primordial goddess energy. These are also dark goddesses. These are also goddesses that brought on death and transformation and were very destructive. So, that's the energy that I bring here into this space.
That's your draconic chart, right? What you speaking
Yeah,
of?
we're talking about my draconic chart.
Right.
And it's in the 4th house. So I create safe spaces for the people here because of what I can do. So the Pluto that's in transit is actually activating my Pluto. So a lot of my planets are activated. So these next couple of years are really the years for me to get on my square. Long story short, I'm literally supposed to be activated right now to do what I'm supposed to do here and now. I'm literally in my time and space.
Indeed.
My Pluto is activated in the Capricorn, bringing transformations to the boundaries and resources of self. Hence why I be trying to teach people grow your own food. Bop, 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 bop. Mine is in the 3rd house of communication. So me having these podcasts and being in these spaces in the community and talking to people and making the music that I make and stuff like that, that is me in my divine path.
That's in your Saturn anyways, to aspire to be a teacher, or some spiritual leader. Because I feel like I want to be like a teacher of spirituality as well, and to master it. So now we're moving in the steps towards that direction. You're already on that path. We're already on that path. You're already on that path. You're already working towards doing that. Sermons for sunshine.
Agreed. Agreed. And this also brings me back to what I was talking to you about earlier, sis, when I was like, when it comes to the land, it's going to be women first. And I feel like I want it that way. And I say that because my Pluto, which we said is Oya, Lilith, and Juno are in my Capricorn. Those are all female deities They are all divine feminine deities. So it's only righteous. My fourth house is here. So fourth house is that energy of Yamoja. So again, we're aligning the Saturn and the moon together, which we talked about. That's a heavy sun and mother energy there. So, you bring my sons into play. I literally gave birth to my sons to help me carry out my mission. And creating safe spaces for these kind of women is in my Akashic records. Like, that's literally what I'm here to do. I'm here to round up the Liliths so that we may have a safe space to do our work.
Indeed.
So, this is me walking in my divine purpose. Now it's just a matter of, are the women going to listen to me? Because with y'all, I love y'all, but y'all don't listen. Y'all don't listen. Like these, but it's cool because I'm not here to help humans. I'm here to help the goddesses. So if you know, you know.
Right. Their inner God will start to listen.
Yeah.
Their ego has to die. In order to do so, we all have a lot of egos.
Right.
Ego is not just a God thing; it's a goddess thing. They get it from us. I think we have the biggest egos.
We do. We was here first. Where's your draconic chart so I can see your Akashic records? Peace, y'all. Let us know about your Saturn placement so we can address, your tropical, your Vedic, your draconic. We can tap into your Akashic records today as we do the Sanfoka episode on Saturn.
I'm gonna tell you what it is, because I just looked it up.
Okay.
Now don't look at me crazy if I'm saying this shit wrong, because I'm reading it off how it is. But it says Pluto in Mars, 4 degrees. Pluto in Moon, 3 degrees. Uranus in Mercury, 0 degrees. That's interesting. 0? Like it ain't
that means
there?
It comes to you easily. That's a very easy degree. 29 is a difficult degree. 0 is very easy.
Well, all my degrees are low over here.
These are all in Capricorn?
This is in hold on.
I want your Capricorn placements.
I don't have none. I don't see it. That's why I'm reading it off, like, see if I'm reading it right.
Are you on Astro Matrix? Because that's what you were showing me screenshots on. You can go on Astro Matrix and get your draconic chart.
Oh, let me see in Astro Matrix, because I just Googled this online. So let me see. One momento, por favor. Do they have a draconic chart on here? Oh, yeah, it is. My bad. It shows y'all I ain't never looked at mine. It's a commercial. Okay.
It's okay.
Well, this is very different from what I was looking at.
Yeah, I kind of figured it'd be a little different.
So they was over there lying to me? Sis already knew. She ain't even seen my draconic chart. She was like, that don't even sound right. Hold on. Why am I adding it? Girl, my crazy self. I'm sitting here adding it. I'm thinking I was sending it to you, but I was sending it on my Facebook. Okay. Ooh, the rain sounds so great right now. I'm loving it. And I'm going to get back out there and get in it. Did you get it yet, sis?
Okay, yeah, I got it. Okay. So your Akashic records, yours is in Scorpio. So yours is learning how to be by yourself. You're working on your interpersonal relationships as well as like the community and the interpersonal relationships, and find a balance amongst the community. So find a balance amongst yourself, find a balance amongst the community, and bringing transformations in those spaces, standing on your power. So you're here to like implement your solar plexus chakra, your Oya energy. I would study her definitely.
Yeah, she's on my cover photo.
Saturn and Uranus and Scorpio. Yeah. Research the stories of Oya, because that's your energy that you need to channel while you're here. That's your Akashic records that stand in this space. Now,
Right.
do you have anything in Aquarius? Oh, your Jupiter is in Aquarius. So what brought you here is, the sacral chakra. Um, you were imbalanced in a space of creation.
Mm-hmm.
You had imbalances in your solar plexus chakra because your Jupiter is in the 8th house. So there was an imbalance here in your solar plexus chakra. It looks like because it's in retrograde that you didn't really believe in your solar plexus chakra. So that's how you got here. It wasn't strong enough. So your Akashic records while you're here is to get that Scorpio energy in alignment. That's
The
what you want
thunder
to do
rumbled right when
here.
you said that. So it's
Uh-huh.
confirmed.
So
It is
it's
confirmed.
confirmed.
So I
And
gotta
that
get,
is the energy of Oya too. She over there agreeing. Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
sis.
Well, you know what? I knew I carried the energy of Oya, you know what I'm saying, for a long time. That's why I was like, I got her on my cover photo on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel that. And maybe I'm attracted to the forces, the violent forces of nature. Mm. Anywho, indeed. I don't know how to read this though, but
Yeah, you definitely want to balance the solar plexus chakra. Some things in alignment with Oya.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
this right here, this is what I was saying. I got more Sagittarius placements than anything in my
and your
draconic chart. I
draconic
think I
chart,
peeped that
right?
before.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
that's a lot of Obatala energy as well. Being a space of wisdom and your motivation and your subconscious and in your third eye and applying that to your daily routine. So meditation, yoga, all those different things will assist you in that
My
realm.
Lilith,
Also the people in your community.
my Lilith is still in Gemini, just like it is on my birth chart.
Community communication. You're here to
Mm-hmm.
create balance. It's zero, so it's
Mm-hmm.
gonna come easy to you once you
Mm-hmm.
step in it, and you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
create karmic energy with it because 4 + 5 = 9. But you bring the stability, and this is your soul purpose. It's in the 11th house. Your Chiron is also in the 11th house, though, so this is also where your wounds lie as well in your soul purpose. So you touching some wounds here, and we talked about that. That those wounds in your tropical chart with the parents in the 5th house energy. So, that's the that's the catch.
Yeah, I be really wanting to make my parents proud of me. I think I got one that's that is.
Yeah,
The other one want to act like they don't see it.
but that's the transformational energy. And oh
uh,
yeah, so this is Babalao. This is Shani. This is the god of justice that I was talking about that was black and blue.
yeah.
And
My true note is 0 degrees in Aries. Mm.
this is another one of Shani. And then Ta is another one. Now, Ta is a creator god, and he spoke to the primordial mounds to create. This is the god of Memphis, which is the capital in Egypt. This is the god of craftsmanship and skilled laborers. And this is what I was talking about. Okay, so everybody knows Less Nobodies is associated with Sekhmet, right? I didn't create that. Actually, it was my child's father that created my trademark. I asked him to draw me something, and he gave me the Sekhmet in my essence. And he never explained to me why. At least I
Because
don't
he saw
remember
you in
that
that light.
dialogue.
Because he saw you as that.
Yeah, but then like the more I study Sekhmet, it's just like so cool. So she represents Virgo energy. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
cool. She's actually Ta's wife. And Ta is the energy of Capricorn. I'm like, ooh, I do think I need a Capricorn in my life because what the fuck? This life is
Because
wild.
Capricorn sons and Virgo sons are they're the best compatibility in of all the signs, for real. As far as like with love and shit like that and relationships, they're the very most compatible together.
So I need a Capricorn
You
stellum
need a
because I'm a
Capricorn,
Virgo
cause,
stellum.
cause
My
they gonna get it done. They gonna get
Yeah.
it done. You know what
My
I'm saying? They
sun,
may
moon,
be
Mercury,
in
Venus
this
all in Virgo. So I need somebody who has all those placements in Capricorn.
they're disciplined as
I
well.
like
They're
that.
very disciplined. They may not seem like it when they are growing up, but once they become adults, they have it together.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like
Indeed.
that. So Ty
Indeed.
is the green dude, you know. Um he created himself out of the void. So this is when we get into Genesis in the Bible when he was like, let there be light. Woo woo womp. He created the physical universe to live in and created many other original gods. He created Ra with his speech. This is where you get into the heart is the vibration, because that's how he would do it. He would imagine with his heart and then use his voice to breathe life. And we talked about him being a companion to Sekhmet, which is, oh, this was the other divine
Your baby
alignment.
daddy said
Guess
you
what?
need. Your baby daddy said he wasn't the one.
Right? It's not me. It's a Capricorn. I know for sure. Like, dang, he really prophesied. So my
Right.
husband gonna be a Capricorn. That's gonna be
Right.
great. So so guess who Sekhmet is the goddess of? She's the
Mm,
goddess of desert, and you know I got land in Arizona. She's
okay.
the goddess of the sun. My nickname is Sunshine. My mother gave me that nickname is
Come on
Sunshine.
with it. Somebody.
She's she's the goddess of plague, war, healing, and she has a son, Nefertum. You know, I got two sons, you know,
Hey,
and they make the triad of Memphis. My mother is from Memphis. My
divine
my
alignment,
lineage
sis.
is
That's where your
from
tree started
Memphis.
from, right there.
Ye-
Your mother.
Exactly. Like I'm
Oh, that's
like, I was telling you
amazing.
earlier, like, bro, the more I learned about her, the more I feel so in alignment, like, oh, she is me. That's so weird. You know, my whole lineage is from Memphis. Actually, I'm trying to make my way back over there because my cousin got an event coming up that July 7th weekend out in Memphis. I'm trying to make it to. But like I'm like, dang, that's so crazy. Like, really, like time is not linear. That's wild. So, you know, I'm gonna be digging more into her so I can, you know, dig more into myself.
Right.
Also, karma, because Saturn is alignment with karma. So, you
Right.
know, you get into like the structure of life and the tree of life and the different spheres, and there's no number greater than nine. It takes 9 lunar cycles for life to come through the womb. That's coming from Aquarius to Saturn, Aquarius to Capricorn. Because Aquarius is through the womb. That's the rebellious detachment energy. It's detached because you're cutting the umbilical cord, you're pushing the baby through the womb. Aquarian energy is also the energy of the intellect. That's that let there be light. Let there
Mm.
be light is that light bulb that goes over your head in the darkness, right? And Capricorn
Mm-hmm.
energy is associated with the dark energy. So I found that really cool. And that's the reason why Saturn is also associated with space, time, form, and structure, also aligning Saturn with your bones. Saturn is in alignment with your bones. You know, your teeth are also bones. That's all structured energy.
I think it says something with your nervous system as well.
Yeah, because it's all interconnected. Like your bones will go
Yeah.
further up and go into your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. And that's, you know, aligning, you know, your Moja, Cancer energy, which is the nervous system, the nerves, to, you know, the sun being Saturn. You know, Babalao is the son of Yamoja. So that's the connection between the nerves and the bones. What else I
They say the
got?
knees, sis. The knees. The knees.
Shit, the
I
knees,
know it.
man. You
I
hear me?
know
You know
it.
you ain't listen, you ain't living right and you're in your discipline and order if your needs, and it's crazy because a lot of people after a certain age that karma catch up to them when they get their second Saturn return, which is like in the 55 to 60. And just to remind you that the Saturn return actually lasts from 2.5 years to about 7.5 years. This is how long the Saturn return can last. So you would have your Saturn return from like 29 to like 36, 37. So, you know, and then you know, you're finished it or whatever.
They
So
also
like,
said the katara as well. I like
what is that?
katara. That's like the buildup of mucus. Um, the buildup of mucus in the airway or the cavity of the body. So like your throat or some shit. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting.
I was like, wow.
I
Yeah,
have
you'll have a
studied.
you'll have a constant need to clear your throat. You're feeling that your throat is blocked. So that sounds like a throat chakra thing.
Yeah. Saturn rules over the 10th house, the 10th house of career and aspirations and achievements. The 10th house has the same function as the ninth house, and it contains diseases like stomach pain, blindness, wounds, joint pain, and bone fractures. Now, the ninth house rules over knees, thighs, joints, bones, weakness, stomach pain, loss of limbs, bone fracture, disease of bones, also diseases related to teeth, skin, blindness, mental worry, wounds, paralysis, hysteria, tumors, baldness also falls under this. So that's the Capricorn energies.
Well, damn.
The 11th house deals with Aquarius house, which we also know Capricorn kind of rules over that house as well. So this deals with your calves, your left ear, left arm, left buttocks, knee, legs. So for those of you having issues on the left side, we're dealing with Aquarius energy here. However, this house is also deal with chronic diseases. So that's all the Capricorn energy as well. You know, coming back to the vibe of Babylao being associated with disease and stuff of that nature. Um, so when we get into the tree of life, we get into Bina. Bina deals with the third sphere in the tree of life. Three being the number of creation. So what I like about the Torah and the Kabbalah is they make all the energies feminine. Oh, okay, so let's go back. This is Lazarus. This is Saint Lazarus in the Bible that had leprosy and he died and Jesus brought him back. He's often represented with two dogs. Again, this is Babylao with the dogs. Excuse me. And this is Bina energy. That's Tammuz. Excuse me. What the fuck?
That's that throat. That what they call it? The Katara.
Right. Tammuz is associated with the Babylonians.
Push air down your throat.
I'm trying.
Oh, you gotta push it down there. It'll stop it instantly like that.
And Bina deals with the third sphere on the tree of life, which is on the shoulder, and that's associated with intelligence, intuitive understanding. And this is what makes the root chakra, which is ruled by Capricorn, deal with reproductive organs, because Bina is associated with the yoni, the womb. It's associated with the priestess card on the tarot deck, as well as threes in tarot. The number threes in tarot is what is three of pentacles, wands, swords, or cups. It's all associated with Bina, which is associated with Saturn. Some other deities that are associated with the energy as well is Isis, Sybil, Demeter, Rhea, woman, Virgin Mary, Juno, and Hecate. These are all associated with the third sphere on the tree of life as well.
So you want to take a look at like the celebrities that have the your placement as well. You over there going through with the hiccups.
Yeah. You do that. Because I'm over here going through it.
What we said yours were. Yours was Gandhi, right?
Yeah, Gandhi.
But it says Gandhi on mine, so they got something wrong over here. But I'm gonna give Gandhi to you, and I'll take Madonna.
They associated Gandhi with me on the personality joint too, the INFJ joint. They said Gandhi also was the INFJ. I guess so. He doesn't impress me.
You got MLK. You got Martin Luther King Jr. Who else you had? You had Osama bin Laden. What else they said, sis? It was a few people.
You sent it to me, right?
Rasputin.
Abraham Lincoln. I have Vladimir Lenin, Charles Darwin, Che Guevara, and Rasputin. A nice little list.
That's a nice ass list. Though. I got entertainers. You know what I'm saying? I have, well, except for Al Capone.
He entertaining.
Very, yeah, he was. You know what? You're
He
right.
probably has some cool gifts. He probably could play the piano or something at house parties and shit.
I would say that everybody in my placement, they like, they could make light of themselves. Prince, Michael Jackson, Usain Bolt, Madonna. You know she got them full of shit. Queen Elizabeth, Solange, and Anita Baker. I like all of them except Queen Elizabeth. The mama, the mammy, not the one that just died, but
Mm.
the mama of her. I think that was the mother, right? Yeah, the mother queen or what the queen mother. But
Got some good people. That's all fifth house energy of creativity. And
I find that interesting though, because I see a relation like with Michael Jackson and Prince. Like had said before about their childhood. They look a lot back on their childhood. They recall a lot back on their childhood. I do that often. Because that's where a lot of my what trauma comes from. Um,
yeah,
hmm and that's where their trauma has came from. Except Michael Jackson, he just sought out to make his whole adulthood like part of his childhood. He tried to get his childhood. He tried to get his childhood back.
he really did. He wasn't playing no games. Like I want that shit. I'd be damned somebody finna take that from me and I can't get it. Nah, we not that's not acceptable. I ain't mad, take that shit in your own wins, know what I'm saying?
hmm
I ain't mad at all.
I ain't mad at it neither.
So there's places over the world that's under the vibes of Babalao. Let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Babalao rules over Great Britain, Slovakia, Lithuania, Czech Republic, Sudan, Haiti, Nauru, Bulgaria, Mexico, United Kingdom, Albania, Bosnia,
Bosnia?
Afghanistan. Yeah,
Okay.
Afghanistan, and India. They're all ruled by Babalao, which is
Yeah.
crazy because you
It
think
sounds
about
like
disease and death and shit.
right. And I was gonna say like, a whole lot of, you know, shit going on over there.
Yeah, because everybody from Great Britain, they love to run the world with their diseases and shit.
Yeah.
And Haiti got hit very hard when they went over there, and so did Mexico. Um, Now some cities: Brussels, Oxford, Ghent, Delhi, which is in India, Mexico City, and Port Said. Those are all cities that are ruled by Capricorn. That's what I have on this paper.
Mm.
And just so you know, 1 degree in the sky is 69 miles radius. So, whatever energy is, that's what energy is underneath that particular zodiac energy for that particular time when you look at the degrees and correlate them down below.
Mm.
It just goes to show that beyond the ice wall map that we use is so fucking correct. It's correct because different parts of the world will be under different parts of the planets at a certain space time. Like when you get into astrocartography, right? They talk about the midheaven, the descendant midheaven, which is kind of like the opposite side of the planet. So how you gonna get one side of the planet and I'm gonna get the opposite side of the planet if the planet is bigger than our whole planet? That doesn't make sense unless we all on the same level. And even if you use the heliocentric model, like let's talk about we're gonna come to this episode eventually, but I I just want to address it real quick because whatever. But like even when we get into this model of things, right? It still looks like everything is equal. I'm on Earth. all of this is water, right? And different depths of water, which people are starting to talk about now that this shit is happening with the Titanic, is opening up those kind of conversations, right? Which I told y'all in the planetary forecast, the beginning of the summer solstice is always the red summers. They always sacrifice somebody. It just so happened at this time it wasn't a black kid. It was a bunch of dumb rich people. So that's cool. I'm not mad about that. So, but we still kicked off the red summers with the sacrifice, but it's opening up the conversation that all of this is surrounded by water. So you have all of this. So if I'm on Earth, I should be able to swim over to Mercury when it's in that position to do so. You know what I'm saying? It's like the little things on a watch, if you will. And then also not just it being across, but some of them are higher and lower. Like let me see. And they don't move like this. They move like this. Some of them move
Right.
higher and lower and all of that. And
I
then
mean, because nothing's gonna move in a perfect circle out there in space like that. Like,
yeah, I don't know.
ain't nothing a perfect circle out there.
They really want a perfect circle, man. We gotta give the people what they need.
Oh, gosh.
But okay, there it is. Here it is. With it moving like that. So that's why it's kind of difficult to get on all the planets sometimes, because you see how some of them are moving higher than others, and then they come back down. That's when you look at your chart, right? And you see the ascending and descending degrees. And you're like, what's that? That is its, relation to where you are. Is it above you now? Is it below you now? Is
It's
it
like
ascending
wavelengths.
mode or descending mode? Yeah.
They move like wavelengths.
Yeah. So it does take some time. Sometimes the planets are lined up to where you can go over to them. And that's why it's such a big deal when we see occultations and lines and shit. But because we live on this plane that we live on, and we have the indoctrination that we have, they're not going to tell us, oh, the planets are lined up for you to travel across now. They're not going to tell you that. But that's essentially what it is. And then I'm going to just, me and Danielle know what the fuck we talking about. But for those of y'all that's just, tapping in, I'm about to show y'all with the map that I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. These all are the planets that are going above and below each other. Mm-hmm. That's why in certain, they be like, oh, these islands just came out of nowhere. Oh, the water is buried. Like, certain parts of the earth, getting buried underwater, while certain parts of the earth are coming up in the water. That's the same thing I just showed y'all in the last heliocentric model, is going up and down in space, up and down in space, up and down in space. That means that during certain periods, and we move so slow, Earth time is so fucking slow that it's going to take like an age or two for the water to go away and for the water to come back. You know what I'm saying? Because that's human years. But that's essentially what's happening. The planet is going up and down in that heliocentric model around things. And these are all the different planes that's around it that we call, plane ETs, which means extraterrestrials. So extra land. This is all the extra land, the outer land.
Yeah, so, it doesn't necessarily mean up.
No, it doesn't. And then this is the idol that everybody has their own, that ozone layer, the bubble, the ozone layers and stuff, the auric bodies on top of the physical body, which we physically have. You have an auric body, your chakras go up to 7, and then you have an auric body over that. So yeah, that's that. Coming back to Bina.
They love to chip off their damn face.
Yeah, they always taking off our fucking noses. Because as soon as you see the nose, you can be like, oh, I know that nigga. Mm-hmm. We gonna recognize them.
Right. They say with the children, you can't hardly tell yet.
Right.
I wanted to ask some questions. Well, you still want to, you still have some information you want to give on?
I do, but let's start off with a question first.
I mean, I was going to end with the questions.
Oh, okay. So let me just blosh out my information.
Yeah. Let me get the rest out. I still got some more.
Oh, okay. You got some more too?
No, I was making fun of you, sis.
Oh.
I still got some more.
Okay, I got a little bit more for y'all. So we're gonna talk about I love Blink Man. So we're gonna
Me
talk about
too.
Seker. So Seker is associated with Ta and Almi and Kapir, and I'm gonna talk about them too in a second. But also associated with Bina. We talk about Bina on the third sphere, the tree of life. Ama and Ama, as far as the Canaanites go, I did not get a chance to look up any of those. So Babalawe, which we went over extensively, and Kali, which I'm about to go over momentarily. Third sphere, the tree of life, which is the space of creation, the and Saturn and Saturday. The color is indigo and black. The number is 13. We're dealing with 13 here. Staying with self amongst the created, the collective and creation, because these energies are associated with breathing life. The beginning of Genesis, bringing in light and all that fun stuff. The beginning of humans from Earth and things like that. Blue sapphire, onyx, and lead are the gems and the metals. The sidereal full moon in Capricorn Aquarius is this time of year. This is what, as far as herbalism in the bath, you're dealing with Jerusalem tea and bitter broom. Oils is myrrh and cypress. Incense is myrrh, cypress, and southernwood leaves. The spiritual direction is east. The mundane is southwest. Personality portfolio, the animal spirit is frigid and dry in the energy of Saturn, because you figure the season is winter. And this has the following effects on the personality, which is sphere 9 in the tree of life. Stable, sober, steadfast, reserved in speech, thrifty, studious, austere, steadfast in relationships, reliable, appreciative of structure and limitations, patient and hardworking. Now, some negative traits can be morose, depressed, jealous, mistrustful, suspicious, liar, malicious, miscontent, timorous, miserly, unappreciative of structure and limitations, which a lot of people in this realm are. There's definitely an imbalance in the root chakra in this generation coming. Acquisite. And it's funny because they think they're revolutionaries and you're not. You're imbalanced. Unsympathetic,
I see a lot
stubborn,
of it. I see a
inhibited.
lot of it.
Yes, a lot. Phobias, mistrustful, unadaptive, separative, envious. Mental traits. Positive traits is suppression of thought process through deep concentration, resulting from perfection of the Men-Ab meditation system, leading to the ability to awaken and direct the units of spiritual power. Enter in attunement with the spiritual forces that are in charge of the orderly unfoldment of events in the world. Good powers of planning, organizing, appreciative of structure and limitations. Some negative mental traits is lack of concentration, poor planning, absence of plans, unappreciative structure and limitations. I cannot date nobody with a bad root chakra. I have learned in the past, like, couple of guys I dated, I can't deal with somebody who does not have a balanced root chakra. It really triggers me because my root chakra is overactive. So I can't deal with somebody who has an underactive one. I'm trying to calibrate mine. I really don't have a tolerance for that shit. Um,
Wouldn't that be a balance?
huh?
Would that not be a balance? Yours is overactive, theirs is under.
It
Be in the middle.
triggers me. I can't deal with it. It gets on my nerves. My Lilith is in Sagittarius, so I can't even deal. Like,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I can't deal with that shit. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
have something.
Yeah.
Careers or functions are elderly persons, property owners, farmers, miners, subway workers, people that work in funeral homes, because Babalao deals with death. Priests and priestesses that have a skill of words and power. So if you have heavy placements in Capricorn energy, this is you have the power of words and stuff like that. I have 3, so I have a triangle there. um and what's crazy? My mom said that I went to a lot of funerals when I was a kid. And I'm like, see, that alignment be so crazy. Spiritual portfolio is the imposition of the divine law from within. Destiny, success in life, organization, structure, cycles, hierarchy, phases, limitations, delays, and obstructions. Spiritual functions. No two things can occupy the same place at the same time. I say this all the time in my readings. Divine law and order, therefore guaranteed all things their day in the sun. The coming into being and the unfolding of all events in life are controlled by spiritual forces for the sake of maintaining order in the world. The spiritual forces maintain order in the world by organizing all things and their parts into a hierarchy of place and time. Regarding life events, we therefore do not make up the plans that we will follow, but seek to intuit the spiritual structure controlling the events in our lives as ordained by the spirits. Incidentally, these structures or patterns that are woven into the energy matter are analogous to the patterns that are formed when sound vibrations are deployed over the surface of water. They have been reproduced in many cultures and are known as veves or yantras. I love drawing veves. People with well developed ability to concentrate, which enables them to intuit the spiritual structures underlying events, are said to be good planners. They also have the capacity to accept and appreciate the limitations that these structures impose on their thoughts, emotions, and actions. As these structures guarantee each thing its time and place for manifesting by maintaining order, these people are successful in their lives. Those who lack the ability or inclination to concentrate deeply enough to intuit the underlying structures of things either fail to plan or lack the capacity to accept and appreciate structures and limitations. Thus, they run into what they interpret as obstructions, delays, etc., and lacking help from other spiritual quarters, end up with a miserly existence as they live like trains trying to run without staying on the tracks. Excuse me. So that is the energy of Seker. When you get a Seker reading, you must stop forward movement to achieve your goal and meditate on your objective in order to intuit the structure governing your undertaking. Thus, come up with a viable plan. On the level of Seker, the meditation process depends on the ability to sit at all thought processes, make the mind blank in order to sense the underlying structure of your undertaking. That's the beginning of Genesis when we're in the darkness and he said, "Let there be light." Peace, peace.
Indeed.
Um, Although most people will not be able to attain this level of meditation, they should at least try to slow down the thought process in order to fully concentrate on intuiting the plan, drawing from past experiences. This is why they say Capricorn energy is really good at manifesting and making things. So if your Mercury is in Capricorn energy, like you really should be manifesting things, speaking things into existence. You literally have the
Ooh.
vibes of Ta and Seker.
What?
If your
Combined
Venus,
together?
yes. If your Venus is there,
That's
your vibrations is what manifests things. You know, whatever is in Capricorn, that's where you're manifesting. That's what's making it happen. So my Neptune, Uranus, and Saturn is in that space. So like, embodying the energy of Seker as well as utilizing my Neptune, my subconscious to visualize on that realm is what is going to manifest things for me. And it's true because every time we talk about somebody, they always come the fuck up. Every time I think about somebody, they always come up. I find that so funny. I make jokes about that, but that's serious. That's for real.
Yeah.
Um,
It does.
that is really for real. What else? All things considered, elders, people 56 and up, will be most successful as their greater experiences and lower metabolic rate, which is Seker's catabolic mode, will provide them with a greater abundance of food for thought and patience. It will be advantageous in that 56 and up. Now we're talking about the second Saturn return. So once you reach that second Saturn return, especially for my Capricorn sun, things get better for you. It will be advantageous for young people under 42 who receive this reading to seek advice of capable elders. And so that's if you receive that kind of reading. And that's very interesting. So coming back into what else did I say? Oh, so Saturn is the Titan that ruled the earth in Roman mythology. We talked about how he ate his sons and how he's associated with Cronus. Saturnalia is December 17th. That's when work is suspended. It's a 3 to 7 day event. Slavery is also suspended. This is a copy of the celebration of Babalao, who was also celebrated on December 17th. That is supposed to be his day. Greek and Arab astrologers see Saturn as malignant. Saturn rules the Jews because Jews' Sabbath day is Saturn day, which to them brings on the materialization of things, that Capricorn energy. Whereas in Arabic astrology, a lot of the stars in Saturn are actually violent stars. Um, we talked about that. And also Kali. Kali is also associated, Kali. Let's come to there. Because we talked about Seker, which is also associated with Sucre. Kali is associated with time, and black. She is the death goddess of doomsday. So bringing back that black color seems to be an underlying color amongst all the deities associated with Saturn. She stands on her husband, who is the Shiva, and we talked about, the way Shiva is praised in the other story that we talked about with Shani. And she destroys sin and decay. That's what she destroys. So that brings back the energy of retribution and things of that nature. Seker, coming back to Seker, is the funerary god. He's the mummified man with the falcon head, identified with Osiris. He's associated with fertility, earth, death, and the protection of minors. Now we got my guy here is Kapir. Kaperi, Khepere. And okay, here's another divine alignment. So I'm in the process of making a video game for my son. And I did not design this video game. The guy who designed the video game designed the video game. Okay. And he wanted Miles to be like a Spider-Man, but he wanted to use the scarab. And so Miles's superhero name is actually Kaperi. And the storyline in the video game is I forget the god's name, but he takes Ra out of the sky. Now, we talked about Ta saying, let there be light. So the ideal is Kaperi created the light. So the light is being stolen. So Kaperi has to go through Earth, down to the underworld to get the light and bring it back up into the heavens, back to Yamoja. So Kaperi has to go back to Mother and bring back the sun that he created to Mother. So sun and moon being in that divine alignment as well. So, this is another divine alignment into my life with these deities.
Yeah, that's cool.
But yeah, that's what he represents. This is Kapir, and I didn't really do much with him. At least I don't see where my notes are. Anyway, this is Aumit, Aummit. This is a demon, also a sinister goddess, so it is a feminine energy of the underworld.
Is that the coat tailor?
Well, actually, she has the head of a crocodile, the body of a lion, and the booty of a hippo. And these are all supposed to be men-eating animals. So she's the devourer. So you know how they balance the heart on the scales, oh my God, to see if it's lighter or heavier than a feather. So if it's heavier than a feather and you weren't like a good person, this goddess would eat your heart so that you would be stuck in duat, which is like limbo. So this is where you get the man eater energy from, the heart eater goddess. And, you see her mostly with Thoth, waiting patiently to find out if she gets to eat the heart or not. And that's what I have. That's all the information I have. So let's get on with the questions.
All right. What's more interesting than interviewing ourselves? So, my first question is, what lingering karma are you holding on to? What lingering karma is somebody else holding to?
What lingering karma am I holding on to?
Yeah, like that's really something to think about.
Lingering karma that I'm holding on to, I would say that oh my God, I cannot wait till my son come home, because the texting me back and forth all night, like I don't even like to text like this. Jeez, I can't wait for him to come home. That is frustrating. He's on punishment right now, so he just be like in my phone nonstop. Like, bro,
he's
just
on
come
punishment
home.
with a phone? What?
Well, he can't play video games, so now he's my best friend. Now he want to text me back to back, and I'm very sensitive to energy, so I could feel that angsty energy he has. Oh my God, Mom, are you okay? I'm so worried. Like, bro, chill. Yeah. I don't want that in my space. Just come home or just chill. Don't do that.
I find it that he's on punishment and still has access to a cell phone though.
Because he don't got his video games.
But my kids play Roblox and stuff and everything else on their cell phone,
It
They'll
doesn't
Bluetooth
stop
the
him from
controller.
texting me. Okay, I'm on punishment. When he's on punishment, I'm on punishment.
You're on punishment too, right?
Yeah, but his dad ain't on punishment. Like, go sit up under him with that energy. The fuck. I love my baby though, but Jesus Christ, like, yo, I can't. I
Yeah.
really don't like that angsty energy he has. It causes chaos in my space. It's a lot. Um. All right. So karma that I feel like I'm holding on to. Um. I think that I'm very hard on myself because the people that brought me up were very hard on me. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like a lot of the times, a lot of the things that I find myself doing is to prove them wrong, especially when I became a teen mom. I think that a lot of people in my family actually liked that off the strength that it showed how imperfect I was. So they weren't happy for me because they were happy that I had my Ezekiel. I was actually happy. Um,
Right.
I had manifested Zeke a couple years before he was even born. I wrote a poem in my diary trying to manifest this love, that I had with my son. And I actually won a writing contest in my creative writing class, writing about Ezekiel. And this was before he was even born. I was in high school. And see what I'm talking about? Uh, you feel it, right? Though?
Are those
Can you
one
feel it?
one sentence text? Like, can you send everything in a
It
paragraph all at one
is.
time?
It's a bunch of like emojis and facial expressions. And you okay? You okay? You okay? You okay?
Son, we're doing a show. Neff, we're doing
Please
a show.
stop, Miles.
Mutu does that though.
And he didn't do this all day. You want to wait till 11 o'clock at night? Like,
Mutu
go
does
lay
that.
down with your dad, please. Um, but yeah. So yeah, I think it's just a lot of proving them wrong, proving my teachers wrong because I went to a lot of Caucasian schools that judged me. I was in a lot of gifted and talented classrooms, like that next grade up. Yeah, I'm ignoring the message and I just put them on silent. Um, so I'm gonna
Yeah,
start getting sad faces soon.
it's okay. You can't
Hmm.
always feed into it.
Yeah, you be all
Yeah,
right.
you gotta learn when there's a time when mommy will be unavailable.
Right.
Mommy can't always be available for you. You gotta go through your punishment. You gotta figure it out.
Yeah, you gotta figure it out. You gotta figure it out. Yeah, I think that's what I carry. I think I carry a lot of the stuff from my teachers. Um, I carry a lot of mean things that my dad said to me because he doesn't spend
Mhm.
much time saying nice things. Like
Right,
it's either neutral conversation or it's him criticizing me.
criticizing. Do we have the same dad?
Maybe he's a Scorpio.
Mine's Sagittarius, but he has a lot of Virgo placements. I've looked at his birth chart.
My dad
Yeah,
just gave me his birth chart information the other day, so I'm finna dig in that bitch.
yeah. I'm gonna go over it with you when I get it. When I get it again, I gotta ask him for his birthday to get it again because it was in my other
Yeah,
phone.
that's gonna be my Father's Day gift. It's a little belated, but hey, you good.
Right.
You gave me your information late.
This is what you got to work on right here, and this is how that has affected me coming up.
Right. Oh, we see. But his Lilith is in Virgo, so I feel like I trigger him a lot. My existence. But you know what's funny? So I'm his oldest, and I'm a Virgo, and his youngest child is a Virgo. So whatever lessons you didn't get from me, the universe was like, oh, okay. So here goes another Virgo child. Since you thought
Okay.
you were going to run away from the first one,
Right.
good luck with that.
Good luck with that, man.
So, I love for full circle stories. I think I'm just walking away from the different karmic energies I got in the school with those karmic relationships, people telling me I couldn't do shit and I wasn't good enough. And, I always wanted jobs in the arts and they were like, oh, that's not a good career choice. The little pompous white kids like, oh, the
Oh,
statistic analysis, that's not a proper career. They don't have a good career outlook on artists and you're going to be a starving artist. And then, there's this one particular girl whose face always pops up in my head. I forget what the fuck her name was, but I always want to punch her in her face because she just always had some smart shit to say to everything I had to say. And it was just like, girl, what's up? Because I'm not
man.
dumb. I'm hood.
Right.
And I think that she played that. And I think that's what a lot of people in that classroom played on. The fact that I talked hood because my bus stop wasn't the same bus stop y'all got. But I'm in the
Right.
same classroom y'all in. So
Right.
fuck y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, don't get fucked up about the bus stop shit, bro. Because I'm smarter than all of y'all. And
Right.
it showed every time we got the test results back and the teacher want to, you know, give flowers to whoever got the highest test score or whoever had the best project. Like, you know, I used to play the game my own way. Like, fuck you, white kids. Like, look at how much smarter I am.
Right.
And so, you know, but I still carry that energy on with me in this space. And that I think that's what prevents me from building with white people a lot. That's what prevents me from sitting in the spiritual realm with white people because I feel like I had enough and I don't like the way y'all treated me then. So I'm not really
a lot of
interested
criticism and shit from them.
Yeah. So I definitely don't want to deal with y'all shit now.
Like,
Especially
no
when
matter what you do, you're never good enough to them. But like nothing.
they're so
I'm doing
cynical.
it for
It's a
you.
lot of cynical energy, and I don't like it. And I think a lot of that is childhood shit. I think a lot of that childhood shit that I have to heal. You know, because even my best friend was a white girl, and she was my next door neighbor, and Head Start. And I did not realize until about 4 or 5 years ago her dad was racist. My mom told me. And she was like, that's why you were never allowed to go with her when she went to her dad's house. And that's why whenever she came back, she was always weird towards you because she had spent all that time at her dad's house and she had to re-assimilate herself to living, you know, back in the hood. Because my like, girl, you live in the hood. All of our friends are black. I don't know if you know this or not, sis.
But I mean,
but you're a hood.
Also, she wanted to kind of rebel, you know what I'm saying, play this game of rebellion with her dad, you know what I'm saying, make him mad and shit.
Yeah.
You know,
I loved her though. I still love
friend.
her. You know, me and her mom are cool. You know, when I got pregnant, when I had Zeke, you know, she was there for me. She actually spent the whole month with me when I had Zeke, you know, that first month. You know, she's you know, whenever we run back into each other, we always keep in touch, you know. That's still my cool peoples. But I think that, you know, realizing that her dad was racist all the time and then starting to add 1 + 1 = 2, there are a lot of little things she said to me when we were kids that I still have in my head, like that she said that shit to me.
Right.
You know, just, you know, innocent shit. Just ask me why certain, like, why are your lips so big? You know, why is your nose like that? Why is your family skin like that? And, you know, she was a blonde haired, blue eyes, you know, white girl. And so, you know,
I wonder why when they look at us, they always think like we're the ones.
Yeah, because I never had that energy towards. I never said like, "Why is your hair like that?" Never, like, I don't recall ever having those curiosities about her.
How they be looking.
She had them about me.
For us to be made fun of, right?
Yeah, she had those curiosities about me and my family. So, like, you know, I just, you know, certain things like that.
Because that was taught the standard of beauty in her household and in society.
Probably, you know, we watched, you know, her family wasn't allowed to watch stuff. The only thing that we were allowed to watch together that had like real people in it was Power Rangers. Anything outside of that, if it had real people in it, we wasn't allowed to watch it. We was only allowed to watch cartoons. So, you know, with her, she was my Disney friend. She had all the best movies. And she had the VHS rewinder. Because, you know, the VHS player didn't have a rewind button on it. She had the machine that will rewind them for you. Boss. So yeah, definitely had a great time at her house. But yeah,
wasn't there.
I mean, her mom and her dad weren't together.
Oh, okay.
That's why she would go away to her dad's house and then come back, and then she would be so different. Like she would be very weird to me for the first couple of days, and after a while, she was my friend again. That was like a pattern with us when she would leave for her dad's house, and then it would be sometimes she would invite me, and my mom would be so adamant, like, "No, you're not going," and I didn't understand, and then we would be crying, like, "Why the fuck I can't go?" And then, you know, 30 years later, yeah, her dad was racist. That's why you were never allowed to go over there. So, what about you? What are some karmic energies that you know?
It's definitely my childhood, honey. That's why everything you were saying, you know what I'm saying, it was speaking to me or whatever, you know, having to prove my worth or prove myself to my parents or what have you, you know, especially my dad, you know. My dad thought I was you know what I'm saying? Like, whoa. You know,
I get it.
And like the more and more that I do, you know, the more and more criticism I do get, you know, and I'm on the right path. I'm on the right path though, but you know, I don't get a lot of praise from him or whatever. And I find myself, you know, getting into these arguments with him or whatever, or challenging him, you know what I'm saying, when he wants to challenge me or whatever. So it's always like some sort of test or play on my intellect or my abilities to do shit. And when, you know, I show you I can do things or what have you, you know, oh, you silent though. But also that finances. You know, he always talks to me about like, you know, being financially set or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But like, to me, if you wanted me to be that shit, I think you should have started building my credit up when I was 18, you know what I'm saying? But you weren't willing to, you know, even sign a student loan, co-sign a student loan for me. So how can I expect that when you already knew the game and shit, but you didn't give it to me? So I thought that was just kind of selfish, you know, in a sense. But it is what it is on that. But yeah, that's my karmatic. Basically, that's the karmatic shit I'm holding on to or whatever. I probably will be holding on to it for the rest of my life. It'll probably one day where he'll be like, you know, really, really aged, and he'll be like, you know what, damn. I always thought you were the smartest, and you were my favorite daughter. That's what I'm waiting on.
Well, my Saturn is, you know, Saturn is that father energy, but the 10th house is also father energy. That's why the 10th house deals with like the money and career, but also like that masculine father energy. And my Taurus is over the 10th house. So when I was in college, my dad was my sponsor. I ain't gonna hold you. You know, my dad always supported me. I'm not gonna take that away. My dad always supported me. Like if I said I wanted to do something, like, you know, he always made sure he pulled up with the, you know, whatever. It was just a matter of communication. Yeah. I had to learn my
he provided, but he wasn't always like, you know.
It's just certain like, you know, feminine energy that I wish my dad would have
side or whatever. Yeah, more from our dads or whatever.
Are you proud of me, please?
Yeah, right. Like, you know, I'm gonna be your biggest critic. I'm like, yeah. But when we had a moment though when we were sitting at IHOP to where I was really like I was speaking to him about, you know, the planets and their placements, so what have you, you know what I'm saying? I had a sunshine moment or whatever, and he was just sitting there like he was really listening to me or whatever. So he was like, so you mean to tell me that this got an effect on your body and your spirit or whatever? I don't believe in all that. I'm like, well, daddy, it does. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, the creator didn't make all these things in the universe, you know what I'm saying, for them not to have an effect on you. Just think about it. I mean, shit, the moon affects what happens? The tidal waves, the water, you know what I'm saying? Shit like that. So how is it? The sun helps things to grow. So, you know, how is it that it doesn't have an effect on your body if you come from the ground, you know, right? You come from the earth.
That's the above and below.
Right. So, you know, he was like, And he knows he's a very intelligent man. You know what I'm saying? You talking about 4.0 student at, you know, at the most, you know? So, you know, but, you know, some things that I know a lot more about and I think a lot more about and I take in consideration than he does. Now, you talking about traditional, he's a very traditional man. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, he's a Sagittarius, but my Saturn isn't Sagittarius. But a lot of the traditional shit, I break. You know, I'm coming out of that because I'm open-minded. But yeah, that's on that. But I love my daddy though. You know what I'm saying? That's my dog. But I think he could be a lot less critical. You know, he doesn't have to be my critic. I don't like, because I don't like to be judged, but I like to judge.
What's the other questions you got?
The other questions I have is who do you need to forgive? You already know. I already know it.
I don't give a fuck about that word.
I already know.
Forgiveness? What the fuck?
That's talk.
Myself. You know?
Yeah.
I forgive my children every time they do some nut shit. I've forgiven my mother because, you know, I was obsessed with healing with my mother. Like, there was no way we was gonna go unhealed like that for a long period of time. I have this weird, like, obsession with my mom. I have this weird obsession with my mom and my dad, despite how much like my dad kind of hurts me, triggers me. Like it's something about my mom and dad. Like my mom and my dad, my children, and the women that I told you I find myself connected to today. Those are the only spaces I feel like I belong in. I don't feel like I belong anywhere else. So my mother and my dad are like, those were my first attachments. So those are the only motherfuckers I give a fuck about forgiving. Anybody else aside from my children, kiss my ass.
Right.
Now I'm kind. Don't get it twisted. Like, my love is, unconditional. I don't know about my love being forgiving, but it's
But who do
definitely
you feel like you
unconditional.
need to forgive the most?
Do I need to forgive? Who the fuck do I need to forgive?
It's
Myself.
a life and death
That's it.
situation. Says you need to forgive.
There's a gun to my head. Who do you forgive? Myself. I forgive Bill
Right.
Cosby. It wasn't that bad. Like, forgive. Who do I need to forgive? Just myself. That's the only person I can see myself needing to forgive. Anybody else, I don't feel like I need to forgive you.
Yeah.
When you said that, the first name that came to my head was my dad's ex-girlfriend.
And I already know it.
But like, fuck her. Like,
right.
I mean, I feel like I played the forgiveness game already with that. And fuck her.
Right. Who do I need to forgive? I say myself, but myself for allowing myself to say in situations that did not serve me, or stop serving me. I stayed in them an extended period of time. I need to forgive myself for thinking I was a failure in a few departments and where I was really good at, or I am really great at. I need to forgive myself for not trusting in myself more. And also I need to forgive myself for not being kind enough to myself, not giving myself enough grace. Sometimes I can be very critical of myself because what people have been very critical of me, and I gotta praise myself more because I'm doing a lot of great things. I'm moving, I'm transitioning, I'm evolving constantly. I'm learning and discovering new things about myself. I'm learning to love myself more, and I love myself more when I'm sitting by myself. I used to like to do a whole lot of things by myself a lot, but after dealing with certain tragedies or obstacles and shit, I still have to learn like not to be so hard on myself, not to feel like I done failed at something. Just take it as a lesson that I learned. Just a hard lesson, and that's comes along with the challenges of Saturn, is learning to overcome that shit that it's very hard for you. Nothing about Saturn is easy. Comes easy.
That's where you get that goat energy from, because goat, the goat that's associated with Capricorn, it doesn't care how difficult it is. We get into the goal. That's that determined, grounded, stubborn, if overactive, but it's going to see the goal all the way through.
So let's proceed to the next question. Where we at on the time? Oh, okay. We got a regular episode, sis.
Right.
What is an important commitment and duty you struggle with? That was actually my question for an Aquarius.
Important commitment and duty I struggle with. I don't really care for, the cycles of the 3D world, as far as like the paid bill, the capitalism cycle, their currency cycle. I don't care for it, but I also know I'm here with a purpose, and I'm grateful that I had my conversation with my priest today, prior to this show, because he always makes me feel better even without trying. Um,
Right.
just brought me back to the realization that like I'm not supposed to be enjoying myself. Like I'm not here to enjoy myself. I'm not here to
I'm
have
not
fun.
here for a short time. I'm not here for a long time. I'm
Yeah,
here for a good
I'm
time. Well, I'm
here
here for a
for a
long time and
purpose.
not a good time.
Yeah, I'm not connected with anything or anybody here because,
Mhm.
this not my world. I'm here to change it. I came in through the portal I came through and the age that I came through. We
Mhm.
just went over my draconic chart. I showed y'all my
Mhm.
Akashic records. I showed y'all, how I came through the womb, into this space. So, I showed y'all that transparency there, but that's what I'm here to do. And for that reason, that's all I want to fucking do. I don't want to do this shit the rest of you humans are doing. I don't want to play the game. I will gladly go live in a fucking old ass house. I would gladly squat. It doesn't bother me to sleep on the floor. It doesn't bother me to not have electricity and stuff like that because that's in my root chakra.
Right.
I've lived with my mother without electricity, without cable. We didn't even have internet. Internet wasn't even a thing when I was a kid. You really think I give a
Not
fuck
even the
about
little
Wi-Fi?
AOL disc with the minutes on
No,
it.
no. We didn't have none of that shit. We
Yeah.
didn't have none of that shit till it was a regular thing to have with
Hmm.
cable.
Well, it wasn't shit anyway back then. I mean, you
It
know what I'm
was
saying?
it
It was
wasn't
really
worth
slow.
getting it because it
Took
was
like
using up
five
the
minutes to
phone.
connect to the internet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I didn't care about none of that shit. I didn't really have a stable cell phone till my freshman year of college. I didn't have a laptop till my sophomore year of college. I didn't
hmm
have a Facebook till my freshman year of college. I didn't give a fuck about none of this shit. Okay, so the first 20 years of my life, I didn't give a fuck about none of this shit. So you think that
hmm
I'm only 33? It's only been like 13 years of my life having access to this stuff. So I still had a longer span of my life without it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not attached to this shit. I don't need this shit that everybody like people are so attached to their earthly shit. I need a couch. I need a TV. I need the internet. I need a phone. How you did it? And they really get angry with me because I don't fucking need it. It's nice to have it. I love the fact that I have it. It's very convenient. But you got me fucked up if you think that I don't know how to be without it. That's what the library is for.
Right.
Like you if you got Medicaid, you can have Wi-Fi for free. You can have a cell phone for free. All you
hmm
gotta do is make a phone call every month. I don't need the shit y'all need. I don't have
Yeah.
to play the game y'all play, and that bothers a lot of people in my space. The more personal that person is, the more bothered they are.
Now it's
So
Scooby.
yeah, now it's Scooby. I think somebody is around the porch window
Him
space.
and Yoda gonna have a good time together. They
Listen,
they probably see them aliens that's out. You know the aliens that the dogs see.
yeah, I think he be seeing stuff too, but he also be going off on every little thing that go pop bass. But yeah, I think that's the hardest thing is to do what you humans do at a 9 to 5 and then do all that bullshit every Friday and then play the game every Saturday and Sunday like y'all having a great time and then pay bills every first of the month and the 15th and the 30th. Yeah, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. I don't respect it. I don't give a fuck about it. I never did. And I know it really bothers people that evolve their whole life and their anxiety and shit around it. I don't give a fuck.
I'm just trying to figure out why in the world you got the same answers I got. Um, Now I got to think of something else to say.
Yeah,
I don't like. Well, what is important? Oh, well, you finished with your answer, sis?
I'm done.
Okay. I don't like being in the routines of things. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And no, I did not close it. Well, close it and lock it. The hell? The dog opened the front door. Well, close it.
Mhm.
Let me get my gun. I like being in the routine of things. I like because it will bore me. So me having to constantly get up and going to work and doing this or whatever. I know it's for a goal. I know it's for a mission or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But I don't want to. If I had it my way, I wouldn't. Like I'll be doing something completely different. I'll be traveling. I'll be going seeing like I'll just go abroad, you know,
That's all that
travel to different
Sagittarius
countries and go amongst
energy.
different cultures.
Yeah.
Learning their different spirituality beliefs and shit, you know, and building up on that, building up my knowledge and experiences on that. That's what I want to do. The routine of being a mother is fine or whatever, but at this point, to where they're teenagers, they're almost adults or whatever, it's tiring now. Okay,
Yeah.
especially because I don't have their father who should assist more with that.
Right.
So I'm doing my part and then some. Routinely doing that and having to repeat things over and over again. Oh my god. But yeah, I do it because I'm obligated to do so and I have to do it. I know I don't like paying bills and shit. I want to live off every damn thing free for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
That's
I don't
why I
want to
be
do none of
trying
that
to
shit.
make moves the way I be trying to be like, bro, if y'all just trust me and we all do this together, we can really make this shit pop real quick.
Oh yeah, I'm locking arms with you on that shit. You know what I'm saying? So it is
Cause
what it
I'm
is.
sick of this shit. We gotta be out. It's
Yo,
it's something better.
if I didn't have children, I would live out. Look, Daddy, I would be living out. I'll live out my car. I'll be so comfortable later.
I tell my kids that all the time. Like I would gladly sleep in my back seat and go watch
Right.
my ass at Planet Fitness. I don't
Okay.
care. I don't need none of this shit. I don't need
Yeah.
none of it.
But
Y'all are
really,
addicted to this shit. I am
ultimately, I
not.
want a nice ass RV though, so I can travel from place to
Yeah.
place, and and have those if I want to, but
It's
still
coming.
that
We
nice stuff
gonna
on
get that
free.
shit. It's
Mm-hmm.
coming. We getting that shit. Cause this ain't it. I tell my kids that shit all the time. I would gladly sleep in a car. I do not need none of this shit that y'all addicted to. And it's crazy because my kids are reflections of me. So if I wanted to sleep in a car, they would be with the shits. I think the only one that would complain is Miles' bougie ass. And that's
Mutu,
because his dad done convinced him
Mutu,
it's something better on the other
Mutu,
side.
and Jordan. Yep. Bug, she a soldier. She'll be like, yeah.
But even then, so I think he would kind of like it. He just wouldn't allow himself to like it because of, how his dad is. But that's not, I ain't worried about that. I ain't worried about that. I took both my boys camping and they loved it. They loved the sleeping outside. They loved the waking up outside. So they showed me like if it ever got down to that, they would be with the shit. So I'm cool.
Yeah.
I'm cool.
Cool,
I
man.
am. So yeah, we finna be square box houseless because fuck this shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Everybody can have their own little, their mini cottage or whatever, you know what I'm
Buy
saying?
yourself a tent and then we gonna go out there and we gonna build
Mm-hmm.
the adobe walls around your tent.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
that sounds cool. And I'm gonna just ask this last question. I had a few of them, but I'm gonna ask this one. That's the last one
Okay.
because I gotta go back to work.
Yeah, I got another podcast after this.
Oh shit. So how do you seek to know your place in the world?
I just had a card fall out. The Three of Pentacles. Yeah, the Three of Pentacles. That's how. What comes to me every time I speak about some shit, it just comes to me. It feels good. The way. Honestly, I'm literally doing everything I wanted to do as a kid. When I was a child, I wanted to be a witch. I always said that I'm gonna be a witch. I'm gonna wake up one morning with my powers. I made the mud pies. I did the berries. I used to write poetry. I used to make the spells. I used to write these stories in the sticky notes, and so you would flip them and be real fast.
They'll be
Mind you, this
moving.
this was shit
Animation.
I was doing at Head Start. I was doing this shit at Head Start in kindergarten and first
Mm-hmm.
grade. Like that's what I was doing when I was like 4,
Mm-hmm.
5, 6 years old, all throughout my life. So like I already knew that I was supposed to be here doing this. I just didn't know the details of it. In my mind, the details was I was going to live in the woods and y'all was going to have to find me because I didn't know nothing about the internet yet. This shit wasn't a thing yet. So like, y'all was going to have to just find me in the woods because
I
I
know
ain't
I
going to
was
have no house
calling me.
phone. I knew I wasn't going to have no house phone. But yeah, like I'm literally doing what I always wanted to do, and I'm very happy to be here. The details have always switched up. I was like, well, if I can't, have my own thing, then I'll join politics or I'll become a psychologist if I can't, do it this way. But then, the universe aligned for me to have a happy medium to where I do natal chakra therapy. So now I can read your Akashic records to you. I can read your spiritual DNA code to you and open you up and have therapy at the same time. So I got everything that I want to be,
Yeah, it's better than psychology.
Yeah, it's way better.
Mm-hmm.
What about you?
Me, Lord, I had my answer. I just lost it though. Okay, how do I seek to know my place in the world? The people I align with. I know my place in the world. I know I'm on the right path. I know I'm heading in the right direction. Especially lately. People who are in my circle, who I speak to, either on a daily basis or, some point in time in the week or what have you. You know, and hell, I seem to be aligned with the works that I'm doing because they're doing the same thing or, executing it differently, but yeah, all in all, we are in the same mission. So that's my answer for that.
Awesome. So that is it for Virgo Virtual Talk. Thank you guys for tapping in for the day for the challenges of Saturn. Our next episode is what is your grand rising? So if you are interested in being a guest on the show, pull up, pull up, pull up. You can contact us on Virgo Virgin Talk on Instagram and Facebook or Virgo Virgin Talk at gmail.com. I'm very excited for the What's Your Grand Rising episode 2 because then we can really talk about people's temperament and stuff because a lot of times we walk around with our ego. In fact, the next few episodes are rooted in season 1. We got Grand Rising, then we get into Pluto, then we get into Lilith. These are all placements in my Capricorn on my draconic chart. That was not on purpose. That's cool. And then we have a plague on all of your houses. And then we get to the episodes that I'm very excited about.
Was this our favorite episodes?
I don't. Were these our favorite episodes? These are very dark episodes when you think about it. Saturn, Pluto, Lilith.
Especially the one I chose. Which ones did I choose? I think I chose the Saturn.
Yeah, you chose a lot of these.
I'll forget which ones.
That's funny. But yeah, that's our next episode. So yeah, if y'all interested in being a guest on July 2nd, What's Your Grand Rising? That is the episode, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be live. Also, this is brought to you by Body and Yoni Essentials. Go get you your Body and Yoni Essentials. So yeah, you see what I did there, girl.
I seen Burlington, New Jersey pop up. I was
like, what she doing on my page?
I knew it.
So these are our sponsors. If you would like to be a sponsor listed at the end of Virgo Virgin Talk, please reach out. Les Nobodies has Cosmic Nobodies Convention. We are looking for panelists for our series finale, History Leaders of Today. We need 2 panelists per subtopic. We do have a couple that are coming out already, so I'm very excited. For those of you who had like preliminary conversations with us, Mahatma, if you're still watching, you are one of them. Please communicate with me specifically which subtopic you would like to speak on so that I can have that organized. I already have one person for subtopic number 2, which is our brother out here. He's the governor of Pennsylvania, Providence, brother Talik L., who are historic leaders and leaders of today. I'm very interested in what you got to say about that.
Yay.
Also, we're looking for performers to perform in between these subtopics. We're looking for performers during the Cosmic Nobodies Awards. Also, for those who want to participate in the Flatter Battle Rap, vendors and workshop instructors alike. In addition to that, Virgos L, we are raising monies because we want to travel for the podcast for season 3 or 4, whichever one,
Yeah.
Both of them. So if you would like to donate to Virgos L, this is how you donate. We officially have our own accounts, Cash App accounts. So this is
Yay!
where you can donate if you want to donate to keep up our resources that we utilize to have this podcast, from the internet connection to the StreamYard to all the little bells and whistles in between, the traveling for the tour, the things that we need for the series finale that will be during Cosmic Nobody's Convention, all that fun stuff. As especially as we establish ourselves as a business and things and get things moving in that realm.
You may receive a free product from me. If you donate.
Absolutely, you will receive free products from myself and Danielle. In
Mhm.
addition to that, I have some courses coming up. So July 10th to the 12th, we're doing the 3-day Forex trading class from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those tickets are now available on Eventbrite. I pushed back the Build Your Own Tarot deck to give people space and time. July 17th through the 19th, 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Those tickets are also available on Eventbrite. I also accept bartership and payment plans. Message me if you're interested in going that route for those things. Um, Also, the natal chakra therapy, I do 101 and for groups. And if you guys are interested in joining the spiritual circles, I have a spiritual circle in formation. We are getting together the chakras of a community. Right now, we're talking about the root chakra. So, in light of the root chakra, we're going to get some business, basic resources. We're working on our mission statement, the details
Mhm.
of what we're trying to do, land accumulation. Those who are within the spiritual circle prior to these courses starting will have donation based prices attached to it. So there are benefits to joining the spiritual support circle as far as getting heavy discounts. This is not the group for students. This is indeed the group for teachers, leaders, business owners, and leaders in those realms. So in this group, yeah, we'll be teaching one another, but that's because that's what we do here. It's not so much as like a teacher student relationship here. This is the round table to building things. The goal is to be living off grid in multiple spaces, having business spots in multiple spaces, and coordinating
Mhm.
the tour for summer 2024. So if you're
Indeed.
interested in expanding with Let's Nobody's Body and Yoni Essentials and other affiliated companies such as JDL Enterprises, please reach out. There's some really dope businesses in this group. A lot of expansion is going to come out of this. Everyone's goals will be met. That is the goal, for everyone's goals to become an accumulative mission statement and to build off of that. I have some really big ideas and big plans, and we're going to make it as long as we all show up. And so that's what I have for you guys for the announcements.
That's everything.
That's everything.
We thank y'all so much for joining us. Thank you for listening to us. And leave anything in the comments if you're watching the rerun. Leave your information in the comment section or what have you.
Yeah. Peace, y'all.